I'm Tom Reed, the Executive Director of the Unity Shoppe, a 501c3 public benefit corporation in Santa Barbara, California. The work of Unity was started by Dr. Pearl Chase in 1917 to help low-income seniors, children, and families during the holiday season. For 70 years, volunteers struggled in borrowed space with no funding to help thousands of people annually.
When my daughter was 3 years old and my older son was about 10, I went through a divorce that was very traumatic and moved into an apartment and had very little money to draw from. It was a really scary time. Christmas was coming up and it was going to be pretty bleak, not only for Christmas presents, but food was going to be scarce, and any funds that I had to basically already be contributed towards the rent that I was paying for an apartment. And this letter arrived and it said Unity Shoppe, and I thought that it was a request for a donation. And so I opened it up and I was actually pretty stunned when I first read it, because it was inviting me to come down to get assistance, and I didn't know how anyone would have known that I was having trouble. It was quite interesting to be in that situation, because I had previously in my employment contributed my donations to Unity Shoppe, never realizing that I would need the help later on. In that moment, in that month, I was in that situation, and I needed that help. I didn't know where else to turn. And I wasn't sure what to expect, and ended up going down and standing in line at Unity Shoppe and receiving food and presents for Christmas for my children. They didn't just hand me 2 gifts that were age appropriate. They said, choose the gifts that would be appropriate for your children. So that was pretty amazing. And then they said, now choose something for you. And I didn't know what to choose, and I looked and I decided upon a photo album, because it was symbolic for me that we were starting a new phase of our life, and that I would put the pictures of our new life. And that was pretty symbolic in the long run, because years later, I now own a scrapbook store, and I deal in photo albums, and I deal in people's memories. And that's why Unity Shoppe is so incredible for me, because they were a piece of that miracle that Christmas. I think that they are the community's connection with people in need, and they have the biggest hearts of anybody I've ever met, and I will always love the Unity Shoppe for the Christmas that they gave me, the dignity to help my children, and for every family that they help. It is just, it is a blessing for our community to have them here.
In 1973, Barbara Tellefson became a 20-year volunteer. Kenny Loggins and KEYT-TV joined the effort in 1987 to help raise necessary funding with an annual telethon and to help purchase a building for their work. The goal was to develop a community distribution center for low-income working families, their children, the elderly, disabled, and those affected by disasters like fire and the loss of homes. The Unity vision included solving hunger and poverty issues throughout our county, so families could avoid homelessness or dependency on welfare. By supplementing their income with needed services, people could remain in the workplace. Unity believed that an effective resource center would allow people to shop for their needs with dignity and to eliminate wasteful distribution and encourage people to work towards self-sufficiency. Unity's effort to provide a central distribution facility for the use of everyone in need included a massive collaboration with other nonprofit agencies, churches, schools, and hospitals countywide. Today, more than 300 nonprofits refer families that are qualified and documented by Unity, so duplication of like services can be avoided and more people can be helped. The Unity staff of 18 teaches more than 1,700 volunteers every year, young, old, rich, and poor, to operate the food and clothing center so they can learn to collect, process, and distribute more than $2.5 million in merchandise annually. The Unity facilities are now equipped with necessary computers, a barcoding system, gondola shelving, wall units, rolling racks, cabinets, refrigeration, freezers, and supplies to to effectively serve everyone sent during difficult times. During any disaster, Unity would be ready to take care of people immediately because of its existing year-round services. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Unity's programs now include food for families, clothing, school supplies, senior services, household goods, furniture, long-term fire and disaster relief services, work clothing, and job training. Unity is the largest single direct distributor of food, clothing, and household necessities in Santa Barbara County. People can find the help they need while remaining in the workplace, receiving a hand up, not a handout, so they can remain independent of welfare services while taking care of their own families. Financial donations allow Unity to purchase necessary food and supplies that are not donated, benefiting those referred with better and more consistent services year-round. By working together, everyone can find assistance.
This year, Unity will need the help of the community to relocate family services to other quarters and to provide more funding for our food and educational programs. Please consider donating whatever you can to support Santa Barbara County's low-income families, children, and the elderly. During these very difficult times, Unity's services are vitally important to all those that are being referred year-round. Please visit our website for more information or call for a personal tour. I'm Tom Reed, and I believe in Unity.